What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to Light to Metal. Going to do a second edition of What's Spinning this week. For those who didn't know, I had a little procedure done last Friday. Today is Thursday, so I've been home for a whole week healing up from my procedure, and couldn't really do a whole lot of anything other than rest and listen to music. So what I thought I'd do is just share some of the records that I've been spinning. I spun some CDs too, but I'm just going to show some of the records that I've been spinning over the last week as I've been sitting at home and recouping. This first one up here is Blues Pills, band from USA, kind of a psychedelic hard rock band, definitely a throwback to the late 60s, early 70s. Female vocalist who a lot of people seem to compare to Janis Joplin, but to me she's more, she reminds me more of Marge Raymond from Flame. Yeah, that's it. But basically she has that, kind of slightly raspy, not operatic at all, just straightforward rock female voice. She's got a really nice voice, and this band, it's almost monotonous, this music, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like once you get into it, it's just really like, it's hard to explain. It's just, you just really get into it, it pulls you in, it draws you in. If you're into psychedelic music at all, 60s, 70s, this is a new band, but check out Blues Pills. Good stuff, great artwork on this. I think this is their second studio album. I think they also have a live album now. Haven't looked into them all that far yet. It's a new release. I've only had it for a couple weeks now, so this is the first time I got the chance to spin all the way through. Next one is a classic from Wishbone Ash, UK, Twin Guitar Attack. These guys are credited, along with Thin Lizzy, with coming up with that whole dual lead thing. That heavy metal became ingrained in bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and whatnot. So yeah, you got the Andy Powell and Ted Turner, the dual guitar players in this band. This is a classic album cover. Actually, I have two copies of this. This is the one I spin mostly. This is a more recent pressing, promo pressing, MCA Records, but it doesn't have the gatefold. So I have a gatefold original pressing as well, but it's not quite in as good a condition as this one is. So this is the one I tend to spin. More throwback rock from Orchid. This is The Mouths of Madness, and this is, I don't know, doom, stoner, whatever you want to call it. Heavy rock, highly inspired by, the likes of Black Sabbath and St. Vitus and all those, Pentagram and that kind of thing. I really like this band. This is a great record. I don't know why it took me so long to get into Orchid. I guess I'm always afraid of finding new artists because I end up wanting to buy everything by them. And that's kind of the way it is with Orchid. So I started originally, I got this album first, and now I'm looking for all their back catalog. So just the way it is with collectors, right? But anyhow, classic, heavy, again, throwback to the 70s, big time, stoner, doom, whatever, Orchid, great stuff. This one I haven't spun in a while, so I was flipping through and I just decided to give this one a spin. This is White Wizard, the very first EP from the American new wave of traditional heavy metal band. Great stuff. I love this little EP. They never really did anything quite like it again after this, although I like almost everything White Wizard has recorded. Solid stuff. I believe they're from California, USA, and this album is from 2009. This one I've had for quite a while in my collection. Hadn't spun it yet. Rory Gallagher Live. This was actually given to me by Greg the Egg or Blackmore Rules, and I just had it in a pod to listen to. I hadn't done so yet, but so I gave this one a good spin. And really good, a live album, bluesy hard rock, kind of in the Robin Trower vein. Very good stuff. Gary Moore would be another comparison, but just straightforward blues-based rock and roll. Love the live sound, gives it a little bit more of a beefy edge to it and a little more energy than a studio version. Very cool. Rory Gallagher live in Europe. New album that will definitely make my top 20 of the year. This is the new Death Angel, The Evil Divide. Fantastic. Speed metal, thrash metal. These guys are just on cue. This album is tight. Machine gun riffing, fantastic guitar solos, and the vocals are just outstanding. Double album, 3 sides of it. My only problem is I wish I kind of would have kept it to one record, but because every 3 songs or 4 songs and So you got 4 songs, 3 songs, 3 songs, so you're kind of flipping the record over. And then the 4th side is an etching, so I've shown that before in other videos, but so I'm not going to pull that out. Speaking of Gary Moore, classic Gary Moore, the UK pressing that he just recently received from Jody Watson. This is a repressing. It actually has those. This is actually printed on the vinyl. It includes Pyrosign Walkways and Back on the Streets. Fantastic record by Gary Moore. Of course, Gary Moore also being from the original Skid Row, not the US band, and then also he was in Thin Lizzy a couple different times. And then Phil Lynott on this album. He actually has some writing credits. There's a slow blues version of Don't Believe a Word. Of course, Thin Lizzy did a heavier, harder version of it. Fanatical Fascist, which is also a Phil Lynott tune, and Pyrosign Walkways, which is also a Phil Lynott song. So, if you're a Thin Lizzy fan and don't own this, this is essential to get in your collection. This is one that Aaron, the Metal Theologian, showed 2 years ago, and I've kind of been keeping an eye out for it ever since. And this one came in the mail the other day as a surprise, and this is fantastic. 70s hard rock. 3 Man Army is the name of the band. A Third of a Lifetime is the name of the record. Just straightforward hard rock from the 70s. I mean, somebody even consider heavy metal for the time. It's not quite as heavy as like Black Sabbath or Aerosmith Rocks or UFO. It's just not quite that heavy. So I consider it more of a hard rock record, but still a very, very good hard rock record with some fantastic guitar work. The 3 Man Army, A Third of a Lifetime. A lot of these are things that people have sent to me that I just haven't had a chance to really digest. I've listened to them once or twice, or listened to them while I was cleaning house. This week, since I had to sit still and just listen, I really was able to give some of this stuff a really solid listen. So this one was sent to me by Posse. This is 09. This is a Finnish band, I believe. I believe this is their first album. I'm not going to actually take it out of plastic, but I do have his letter in the back. And 09 kind of sound like the early 80s band. I think this was like 82. This is produced by Ian Gillan, so to say it has kind of a Deep Purple-ish vibe might sound a bit, trite, but it's the case. It has that kind of Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, White Spirit kind of sound. Early new wave of British heavy metal, with the heavy keyboards, the heavy guitars mixed in. And when I say keyboards, I'm talking like organs, not like the 80s tinkly keyboards that came in with the pop metal stuff. Yeah, August 1982 this was released. And there is Mr. Ian Gillan on the back. The little note from Posse said that the band has said that Ian Gillan produced this record by sitting in the local pub drinking beer. So I don't know how much he was involved in this record or not, but regardless, he's got his name on there as a producer, and there's this photo right there. Very good record. I was actually, I don't know, I wasn't expecting anything really. I had never heard this band before, but I really liked what I heard. I spun this one a couple times this week. It's really that good. So if you ever run across this little album called Blank Verse by 09. Again, obviously I've been into the 70s vibe because that's a lot of what you're seeing here, but Death Angel's not really good. Another one, this is kind of more of a 60s vibe. This is Lee Steffen's Red Weather. Lee Steffen, of course, being the original guitar player for Blue Cheer. This is one of his solo albums. This is a 2010 repressing. Perfect sound, not a crack in the vinyl. It's beautiful. Actually has the hype sticker on it here. It's a pretty mellow album, but it was perfect for my kicking back and enjoying time that I was wanting it for. So Lee Steffen's Red Weather. Not Blue Cheer. Do not expect Blue Cheer if you're looking for that loud sound. Maybe more like later Blue Cheer, which he was no longer a part of, but much more mellow, not quite as loud as Blue Cheer was. Some more thrash metal. This is Angelus Apartida. This is a trade I did with Rui Martins from Portugal, and he sent this album, and I wasn't sure where it was, and in their discography. I think this is from 2012. Man, this album is great, fantastic. Again, just machine gun riffing, great guitar solos. I love the vocals, memorable songs, and it has good thrash metal. And, it's aggressive, it's brutal, it's fast, but it also has melody. And these guys have it in just truckloads, and memorable songs. Just very good stuff. Angelus Apartida, and this is what's the name of this album? The Call. I'm pretty sure it's 2012. Yeah, 2012. So there you go. More 70s rock. I told you I was listening to a lot of 70s rock this week. Just was in the mood for it. This is the second album from Legs Diamond. A Diamond is a hard rock. Now these guys were, on the heavier side in the 70s. Right up there with Aerosmith and Ted Nugent and that kind of thing. This is just a great record. This one and their first record, I think, are both fantastic. If I was to rate from a 1 to a 10, I'd give these records at least an 8 or a 9. That's how much I think that those first two Legs Diamond records. The third one's good too, but I just think the first two are just fantastic. So yeah, Legs Diamond. A Diamond is a hard rock. Solid 70s hard rock if you haven't heard of them. I can't remember, I think it's like 77 or somewhere around that area. This is the third and I believe final album for Dirty Tricks. This is Hit and Run. This is another new one to me. This just came in the mail. You might have seen it if you watched my recent The Mail video. The Mail. And this is it's just another straightforward 70s hard rock. Someone told me this is like kind of heavy-handed, and it definitely is. A lot of these guys went into other bands. I think one of the guys went into Rogue Mail, and I can't remember. Vardis, I think, was another guy. I think the bass player might have went into Vardis for a while. This is another late 70s, so I was 78 or so, 77. Dirty Tricks, Hit and Run. Really enjoyed it. Very good stuff. I'm not sure how I missed out on these guys, but glad to add them to my collection. Good to listen to this week. Also from the 70s, like I said, a lot of 70s this week. So this is Southern rock band Missouri. This is their first album. Raw, guitar-based Southern rock. Not country rock. This is not like the Eagles or even like the Allman Brothers. This is more heavier, harder. Heavier, you tend to think, heavy metal. It's not heavy metal. Harder. More like Blackfoot. Kind of along that area, just very good. I'm surprised I've never heard of these guys either, so I'm really glad to have been hooked up with this band as well. Missouri, self-titled, their first album. Let me see if there's a year on here, because I don't remember what the year was. Nah, I don't see a year. I'll put it below. And finally, this is the last one. My record's over, so I have to get done anyhow, so I can go flip it. This is Death, Scream, Bloody Gore. I shouldn't say early 80s. It's actually late 80s, but early death metal. And most people would, agree that Chuck and Death were the beginnings of death metal. And this was the very first, full-length album from them after a bunch of demos. And this thing is just fantastic. This is a recent reissue on Relapse Records with the foil-stamped logo, and the sound on here is just fantastic. Again, because it's brand new, it's clean. There's not a pop on it, and it just sounds really good. Very has a lot of bottom end, and it actually sounds better than I remember it sounding. I hadn't actually heard this album in quite a while, so it was great giving it a fresh spin. Still raw, still guttural, still exactly what you expect from Death, but the new vinyl just sounded great. So there you go. That's what I've been listening to. Well, some of what I've been listening to this week as I've been healing up from my little procedure from last week. And I appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate all you guys who contacted me either through Facebook or email, or who called me on the phone to check up on me and make sure I was doing good. I am doing great. I feel good. Within a week or two, I'll be back to normal. And hey, all is well, right? So anyhow, appreciate you watching. God bless. Stay strong.